Got it. Yeah, it's fascinating to me, the psychology that goes into both the seller and the buyer, and the time that all transpires as it goes through this. Can you comment anecdotally, kind of like like where you see mindset start out with? Like, there's got to be jubilation when when a seller signs a listing agreement and they get listed, and they've got all these amazing expectations. And I guess, like, the market is the market is the market. So buyers will respond, and they, depending on how they're responding, kind of dictates, and sets into reality. What's that process like for you when you're working with your sellers, going through that process?
Yeah, and that's an interesting question because it's kind of all over the board. Some people who come to us, they've been doing it for a long time. They've made enough money, so that they feel like they're probably set for life, and so they're really tired of what they're doing. Just because I think there's a certain period of time in any business that you run. I mean, even I was in the art gallery business, and that was a lot of fun. You went to a lot of parties of artists, and you met a lot of famous people, and it was a lot of fun doing what I did. But after doing it for 15 years, it became kind of, I wasn't creative anymore. Once I was the innovator, at that point I was not. I knew it was time to get out. And so some people come to us and they've been doing this just a little bit too long. They've experienced a lot of the headaches that are involved in running a company and building a company. And so they get to the point where, they say, okay, price me in the middle, because, the price of a company is a market range. There's a low to a high on the market range. And so they'll say, you know what, price me at the middle. Let's hope we get it. But, I don't want to go lower than the low part, but just find me a buyer. And so they're really motivated to sell, get this done, and get them behind. Then there's other people that kind of just work from a strategic standpoint, saying, okay, why don't we do this? What if we were to, price the company a little higher than the middle, okay, and let's try to get that. And I'm willing to wait a little bit of time, and, we'll find a buyer. I am motivated to sell, and let's start on that premise. Now, when we start on those, usually those are the ones we like a lot because, we're priced high. We like to go high. Occasionally, you will find people who will pay a larger amount than others will for a company. Everybody thinks that they come in and, we hear this all the time. Well, what if we talk to a synergistic buyer that's already in our sector? And that way we can get top dollar. That's usually the exact opposite. Usually a synergistic buyer understands the sector very well. They're willing to pay a certain, amount on the multiple, and after that, not a dime more, because they already know the exact value to them that company has. And so, usually the synergistic ones are not the best buyers, but you might have somebody who is looking, they own a company and they're saying, we need to find other sectors that are synergistic with what we're doing so that, we can make money on both sides just by owning the two parts. So kind of like, for example, that manufacturer, he didn't have any internet sales. He needed the internet sales, and he could hedge his bet by, doing the manufacturing for that company. So, in each case, you're looking for something that's specific, and oftentimes you may be willing to overpay, or shall we say fully pay, for a company that has more value to you than others. And so, those are the ones we like the most, that we price a little bit high, but not dramatically. We always find buyers for those, and it's very comfortable. Then you have the third group that comes in, and they say that their, say, $10 million company is really worth 20. And there isn't somebody out there that's going to pay 20. Now, if that $10 million company, and he's looking for 20, sometimes what will happen, though, is somebody will come in and, once again, they need a sector, or there's something that's going on in that company that's going to benefit them tremendously. They will pay more. But it's like finding a needle in a haystack. I mean, 99% of your buyers are not that buyer. And so, everybody thinks that buyer is just waiting in the wings to jump in and, snag their company for, a multiple that's above market because they need them so bad. But that's actually not the case. It doesn't work out like that. Most of the buyers who come in to buy companies, they're looking for opportunity, not a sector. In other words, they don't come in saying, I specifically want this company. They come in and say, what do you have that shows me opportunity that I think I would like and would fit my skill set?
Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications about new videos and interviews. And introduce yourself in the comments. Are you a buyer or a seller?